Walking Dead fans. Just finished watching last night The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 2 with my mom. It started off great and ended not so great. It started off with Daryl and the Rock talking, looking down at a bridge, like an overpass. Daryl tells the Rock, "Here, I found this guitar for you." The Rock starts playing it. They sing a song together, and Daryl says, "I'm staying." And the Rock said, "I knew it." Daryl says, "I lost this belle. I fell in love with her, um, your mother's sister." And then he said, "I promised her I'll get you out of Paris to the Commonwealth in Alexandria. You're going on that plane of ash. If I stay behind, maybe you'll have second thoughts, but not taken care of. And the three of you can get out of Paris. I'll find my own way to you guys. I promise I'll find my way back to you guys." And he said, "Plus, you'll love Judith. You'll love Eugene." He said, "Ezekiel, people like that." He said, "You're fit right in." Then it shows Carol talking with Ash at where they got the airplane hiding out, and she's apologized, right? She said, "I'm sorry I lied about you flying me to Paris to look for my husband Ed and my daughter Sophia. They died way back when the Walker apocalypse happened, like way back in season 1. They died. One died in season 1, one died in season 2, and he's giving the cold shoulder. He ain't even answering her ass. He is pissed off she's lied. So she storms off upset, and then Daryl's talking to Ash, and he tells Ash, like, if you really want to get back at Carol for lying to you, pissing you off, and losing you to get here, to find me, take her back. And he looked at her. "What are you talking about? I'm not taking her ass on the plane." He says, "No, think about it. I'll stay behind. That'd be a punishment for Carol for losing me as a friend again, and have to realize she's gonna have to travel all the way back here out of the way to get to me." So they talk about it. Ash agrees. Okay, that's punishment enough. I'll take the kid. I'll take Carol away. You stay behind. That's the plan they got made. Carol overhears this conversation with Laura, and Carol goes up to Daryl. They start bickering back and forth, and then it shows a scene later on where Fro, the old guy, Jurat, the soldier that turned from bad to good, and his other survivor, they're checking for supplies at an abandoned hospital. They come across walkers chained up in a wheelchair and beds, and they're just rotting away. They're decaying because they haven't had no, food source, right? When suddenly they're attacked by the remaining members of the rebel soldiers and the prophecy group. There's like 20 people left, or I count like roughly around 20. So they ambush them at the hospital. They befall them, apparently. They get Jurat down on his knees. They get the old guy Furrow down on his knees. And they're debating which one to kill first so the other one can tell them where Dixon and Carol is. When suddenly the other survivor, apparently they forgot about her or never seen her, attack. She kills 4 of the people with a bow and arrow. And the second in command of the prophecy group and the second in command of Jurat's soldiers, other member of the museum staff, they get away with the other people. So Furrow, Jurat, and this other one, they arrive at the hideout with Daryl and them at. He says, "Look, we just got ambushed by the people. They're on the way here. They're gonna find us. Shit's gonna hit the fan. You gotta get out here." So Ash gets the plane ready to take off. Carol gets in it with Laurent. And everybody's like, "Okay, let's get ready." So they start like fortifying this place, right? Like getting spots ready for like shootouts and stuff like that. Then it shows the club owner. She's talking to the bad guys. They have her surrounded, and they make a deal. You tell us where the plane is, and in return, you can leave Paris on the plane. We don't want the plane. We just want Dixon and Carol for what they have done to ruin the prophecy. We also want the Raw for the prophecy. And the second in command said, "Look," she said, "my leader, the one I followed through this, was killed by Dixon. I want to fulfill the prophecy." She said, "I know that by using his blood, we're able to walk amongst the walkers. They won't even sense us as something else. Like we smell like a walker, basically." And she said, "I'm sick and tired of hiding um by these walkers. It's about time we take back the world. And the club owner's like, how do you even know for sure he's this prophecy kid? And she says, well, there's only one way to find out. A walker bites him, and if he survives the bite, then we know we just take his blood and drain him dry, basically. And the club owner is not liking that because she likes Narot because the Watt's father, that was the previous owner of the club from season 1. She loved the guy and all that. So she takes them to a location. It's an underground parking garage, and Daryl them ain't there. And the bad people realize they've been set up, and she closed the gates behind them, and these acid walkers show up. A fight ensues. The leader, she gets bitten in her arm by a acid walker, and one of her people shoots the walker dead, and the acid lands on her face, and her face starts like getting scarred from the acid. So that was pretty cool, I thought. And they get away, and the club owner thinks she's safe, right? That she tricked them and all that. Not knowing free walkers are coming up behind her, she dies. She gets munched on by the acid walkers. Then it shows Ash, Carol, and Laurent taking off on the plane. And the bad guys show up on jeeps and dirt bikes, and a gunfight ensues. The old guy, I thought he'd be the one kicking ass in this, right? It's not. It's Gerard, the soldier that turned good. This poor guy's been tortured, beaten up, tortured again. He's got one eye now because I almost got a cloth over it. And he grabs a machine gun and he starts mowing down these bad guys. Holy shit, he's kicking ass. I like this guy. And a fight ensues, and some of the soldiers get away from the gunfight. They're getting the jeeps and dirt bike, and they're chasing the airplane down the strip way that Ash is on, trying to take off. Daryl chases after them. He takes out all of them except for one, and then suddenly somebody takes out that soldier. The plane flies off. Carol's on the ground. She got out of the plane. That was a shocker. She's staying with Daryl. And Daryl's like, what the hell, right? And Carol says, I told the others, like Ezekiel, that I'm bringing your ass home. And I meant my word. And the plus, she said, we're better off together than separated, which is true throughout the years of The Walking Dead. They work so much better together than on opposite teams and on their own. So they wave at Ash Larot. They fly away on the plane. And I love like the scenery it shows them flying past Paris, like the Eiffel Tower, the water, all the locations throughout the first 2 seasons where they've been at. And then the plane flies off in the distance. And Daryl says, does he even know how to get to the Commonwealth of Alexandria? Carol said, I told him where to go, the best way to get there, so we'll meet them there. Don't worry. So then it shows the people that left. There's no more bad guys left. Everybody's been taken out in Paris. So some of them have decided that they're going to stay behind and rebuild Paris, like kind of like a new Alexandria, a new Commonwealth, because the way Daryl's been talking about this place, that it's a good place, people can come here and feel safe. So that's why the other survivors of Paris are going to do. So then Daryl, Carol, Faro the old guy, this new survivor lady, you meet for the very first time, and Gerard, they decide we're going to go to this Alexandria Commonwealth to see what it's like. And they start figuring out, well, how can we get back to America? And Faro the old guy said, well, I may know of a way. He said, it's going to be a long few miles away. He said, there's a tunnel that goes underwater. And he said, comes out the other side. You're based here at the outskirts of England. And he's saying, when the zombie Walker Republics happened, they blew up one part of the tunnel. The other tunnel, we started unburying the rubble and that. The debris, we got it unburied, the entrance, but we don't know what's on the other side. None of us have dared to go in it. He said, but I know 2 people that actually have gone in the tunnel, but not too far into the tunnel, right? So Daryl then start the journey. They leave in Paris, but before they leave Paris, they find these other two survivors, and they leave. And it shows them like traveling miles upon miles, and they spend the night at this barn, this abandoned barn. And Fro, the old guy, gets lucky. He's just in the barn talking to this new woman survivor, and she just muckles right onto him. And all that, I'm like, right on. Like, this old guy's a badass fighter, and she's like way younger than he is, and he scored. I'm just saying, he scored. That was awesome. And then they like come to the entrance of the tunnel, and everybody's gearing up to enter this tunnel, not knowing what's on the inside and on the other side. And Fro, the old guy's staying behind. I was disappointed in that because all season, like the first two seasons, he keeps talking about how he wants to see this Alexandria Commonwealth. And he said, but I think me and Ezekiel will make a cool team and stuff. And Daryl's like, you're not coming? He says, no, man. I found love. And then he points to her. Daryl's like, okay. He says, and the old guy says, you're like a brother in arms to me. So they hug it out. They shake hands, they wish each other luck, and then they enter the tunnel where Fro, the old guy, and this other new survivor lady start kissing and all that. Like, so the old guy is staying behind because he's fallen in love with this young woman. Man, I was kind of, like I said, I was very hoping he would go in the tunnel and make it to Alexander Commonwealth with Daryl. Then they show them in the tunnel. Water's coming from above, leaking. There's cars, there's walkers trapped in vehicles, there's dead bodies everywhere. And they come across a bunch of bat shit. Bats are flying overhead, and Carol steps in this pile of bat poop, and she's like, ew. And then one of the survivors says, I'm not liking this. And they say, why? We never ventured this far into the tunnel. She says, be careful, she said, because there's so much bat feces, it can unleash this toxin in the air that makes you hallucinate, see shit. I googled it online. That is truthful. Apparently, if you breathe in too much of this bat feces stuff, it can make you hallucinate and see stuff that's not there and make you sick and nausea. So they come across halfway through the tunnel. They come across this makeshift like checkpoint where like there's gates welded shut, barricading the rest of the entrance to England. And it shows these England soldiers because they look different from the Paris soldiers. And they're all dead. They've been dead for quite a while. So Daryl, Carol, Gerard, and the other two survivors are looking like, what the hell happened here, right? Like, there's been a fight here. And Daryl says, you notice, like, there's no, like, walkers around. He says, I don't know what happened here. It's like they turned on each other. And one of the survivors says, I'm telling you, it's that gas from the feces. It's making them see shit. And nauseating. And then they go further in this tunnel and they come across a barricaded gate. They break through. They go inside. And best way to explain it, it looked badass. But the best way to explain it was there's a bunch of walkers. Some were alive, some were dead on the ground. And they got like these slugs on the bodies and stuff, and they're like grown in the dark, like this neon greenish looking light on them. And Daryl's like, what in the hell is going on? And Gerard, so I've heard about this. He said it's an insect, a bug like creature that it's like a firefly, it lights up. He says, but it looks like they have attached themselves to the walkers. And that, so the walkers that are alive start getting up, they attack Daryl and the survivors. But you see, each one that they're killing apparently is also releasing this gas thing that's on them from the slug fames and breathing in so much of this bat feces stuff. Shit happens. Carol sees Sophia as a walker going down the entrance in this tunnel, so she separates from the rest of the group and follows her, thinking it's her daughter. Daryl sees Isabella walking around. He's like, what the hell? And one walker's face is like going like all morphing like. And then suddenly Gerard stops killing this walker and realizes it's his brother that Daryl killed back in season 1 by not knowing it was his brother at the time. And Gerard says, you lied. My brother is alive. And he attacks Daryl. and all that. And Daryl's like, whoa, hold on, man. That's not your brother. That's a walker. So then Daryl kills the walker, and Gerard thinking that Daryl has killed his brother, basically for the second time, if you think about it, right? So they're fighting, and he stabs Daryl, and then Gerard takes off following the walker that he's hallucinating as his brother, that's alive again, down the other part of this tunnel. So he's separated from Daryl and Carol and the other two survivors. Carol's gone off this other pathway, and the hallucination of Sophia leads her into the Walker ambush. She fights her way out and survives. Daryl gets attacked by the other two survivors. They beat the shit out of them because they realize what's happening, and they got gas masks on. They went back to that makeshift outpost and stole some gas masks. They're beating the crap out of Daryl, taking his crossbow and stuff, leaving him for dead. Daryl fights back, takes them both out, puts the gas mask on. And season 2 ends with Daryl finding Carol further in the tunnel, hands her a gas mask, and then they travel the way further into the tunnel. And Carol's like, "Where's Gerard?" He took off. We gotta find him. So that's how it ended. And it ended honestly shitty. It did. There was no cliffhanger. They never answered the question: who in the hell trained the nuns and these guys in the refugee shelter castle to fight like the way Morgan Jones fights in the Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead franchise. So we never know if it's Morgan. Did Morgan go through this way? Maybe he's in England now. They come across him. I wish they would have answered that question: who the mysterious person was that trained these people. And what a way to end it! Like just to end it in a tunnel with them seeing shit and hallucinating stuff. I did like the walkers glowing up, like glowing with the bugs on them. I did like that. But honestly, it was like I've watched Walking Dead throughout the years. I've watched Daryl Dixon Daryl Dixon season 1. I liked. Then process of watching Fear the Walking Dead. I'm on season 7 out 8 on that one to finish that franchise up. And then every season ends with a cliffhanger and for a surprise to get you excited for the next season. This one just leaves you on an like what the hell? Like they're just walking through a tunnel with gas mask on. Like nothing major, right? They don't come across anybody. They don't find anybody they know. There's not a cliffhanger like a cave in or something. Nothing like that happens, right? Like what the hell? Like honestly, I enjoyed this season from the start to this final episode. The last 10 minutes was disappointing. It's like they ran out of, what we're going to do. So they already announced there's a season 3 of this. They're going to be in England/Spain. One of the producers, apparently online, wants to take this as far away as it can go. But Norman Reedus and all of them said, look, we got to wrap it up quick. We got to wrap it up soon. Because all the other spin-offs are wrapping up. This one's got to wrap up. I am thinking now, maybe the route they may go is they're making their way back to America, right? So maybe they'll come across New York, where Maggie and Negan is, and that will end up them teaming up with them and finally reuniting Rick and Michonne, Alexander Commonwealth, or maybe they're gonna end up with finding like CRM soldiers, and they're taken back to Alexandria Commonwealth. Rick and Michonne be there with open arms. It's got to end with Daryl alive, reuniting with Rick who's alive. There's other rumors I read online that you're gonna find Rick showing up, and Daryl's gonna be dead by the time he gets there. And that would be pissed off a lot of fans. Like you gotta have these guys meet up. Go drink some moonshine together. Go party it up. Play some poker. Go kill some walkers together. Have some fun. And like both of them be alive and happy when they reunited. Because if you kill Daryl off when he's just this close to reuniting Rick, like I said, a lot of fans are gonna be pissed off, including me. Yeah, so I can't wait for season 3. I just hope that honestly it doesn't go past season 3. I hope it doesn't. Season 3 has got to wrap it up. I don't want to go like into season 4, season 5, season 6. It's got to wrap up, or at least wrap it up to an intertwines with Negan and Maggie's show, and then they can wrap that one up to go on. I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead. I've always have been. I like these spin-offs, but I like the spin-offs because they're only like 1 or 2 or 3 seasons. When you get into like season 8, season 9 of a spin-off, it's getting to the point like you're killing the franchise, right? So there you go, folks. Definitely check out the finale, season 2 of Daryl Dixon. Let me know below your comments of how it ended. Were you upset how it ended with no cliffhanger? I'm still upset because I never answered who the hell was it training those people back in season 1 and season 2 with the wooden staff and the weapons. Where the hell is Gerard? He went down a definite pathway in the tunnel. That poor guy is a fighter, but I don't know if he's gonna make it out of that tunnel in one piece unless he reunites with Daryl and Carol. And hope he apologized for Daryl for kicking his ass and stabbing him, thinking that he killed his brother again, then his brother's back alive for the third time. Jeez. I don't want to hell any of that shit. That makes you do stuff like that. No, thank you. There you go, folks. Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet back.